That's right. Part of the problem, Bev, is that there's not a lot of content yet. So you have to buy this as a package. You have to buy the television set, the 3D Blu-ray player, and then you get 2 sets of these glasses. And depending on the size of the television, it will cost you between $3,000 and $4,000.
Good grief! But this is a fairly large screen, right?
Yes, they're big screen TVs, 42-inch up to 55-inch. And here's something that's interesting: is that if you actually went to a movie store, there are only 3 titles that you can get that are 3D
at the moment.
At the moment. So you would think, why would you bother? Samsung says what it has is an up conversion, so it's kind of like fake 3D. And so you could actually watch Canada AM next week in 3D with this kind of up converted 3D. So
I'm sure that's not a frightful thought for some. I'm just wondering, there are some people that want to be on the edge of technology. They're going to want to get it and be the first. There are other people that are going to say, well, maybe I should wait because it's not, it'll get better. The technology will get better.
Absolutely, and it's always better to wait with consumer electronics because the prices will drop. But there are early adopters that are going to want to get this, and actually, you still end up with just an excellent TV, top-of-the-line TV, so you can watch regular television. It's probably going to take a while for, as people replace their television sets.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt that this is moving very fast. The first NHL game was shot in 3D last night, so it's just lightning speed how this is picking up.
And is this, because it's blurry if you're not wearing the glasses, because we're watching something that has been created for 3D, if you are literally just watching a regular show, it's not going to have that.
That's right. So it's kind of like, if you want to watch regular television, you can watch TV, but if you want to watch a 3D movie, then you kind of go to 3D mode.
What's the biggest screen that's available in 3D?
55-inch. Sony's coming to market, Panasonic, but this is moving really fast. You know what? I bet you it's going to be a big hit. They're counting on it being a big hit in Canada as well.
Are you purchasing this for your living room?
Well, I'm always going to wait. I'm always going to wait, Bev. But the early adopters who have to have this stuff, they're really excited about it. And you know what? I bet sales will be brisk.
And this is this thin. Like, I don't know if you can see a side shot.
And you know what? When you do throw on the glasses, it does look pretty cool. There's no doubt.
And your whole family can look that cool.
But your family's going to have to
you
also
can all
buy.
Sit around.
Yeah, you're going to have to buy these extra glasses too.
Get the extra.
$250 for the extra glasses.
But look how cool you look, Pat. It's very cool.
There'll be designer glasses too after a while. Although they look good on you, Bev.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Watch this in 3D. Ah. Okay. Thanks very much, Pat. And we'll be right back on Canada AM.
Hey, want to go for a Tim's run?
Of course. Roll-ups on.
Yeah, because that's the cliche Canadian thing to do, right?
Yeah, right. Like we just sit around in our igloos, waiting for Roll Up the Rim to win.
Yeah, then we hop on a moose and ride it over to Tim's.
Hey, everybody, grab your tubes. Roll-ups on.
I mean, who does that stuff, eh?
Did you just say A?
No.
I heard an A.
Hey, Canada, you could roll up the rim to win a Toyota RAV4, $10,000 in cash, Toshiba netbooks, Tim cards, and more.
Well, I stumbled onto you while I was lying low. Remember, flowers were in bloom, and you just had a show. We walked hand in hand with the grass under our feet, a warm breeze in our hair, and a feeling that was complete. Lightning don't strike twice, but I feel that I fell in love with you again tonight.
Easy as a skipping stone, but not as fun if I'm alone. Let's just take a minute here to breathe. We'll be cool as we go, as we head along this road.
Paying with your money just feels right. Interact Debit.
Of all the dinosaurs, the Stegosaurus had the tiniest brain, making it no match for predators. Funchy shapes, dinos, fish, and moons and planets, made with the goodness of wholesome milk. Fun for kids, from the makers of cheese strings.
This is my KD pledge. I hereby pledge that I will
always eat KD right out of the pot. I pledge
to defend my right
to live on it in university.
That from this day forward,
I will always put ketchup on it.
I will never put ketchup on it.
I pledge to never leave a noodle behind.
To lick my plate clean when my mom's not looking.
I'm always looking.
This I do solemnly swear.
So help me, Katie.
Well, Quebec has responded to demands for guidelines on reasonable accommodation by tabling new legislation. Bill 94 would require that both public employees and the people served have their faces uncovered. CTV's Tara Schwartz has more.
In Canada, no government has touched this issue until now.
It touches our fundamental values and the broader question of how do we live together.
The debate on reasonable accommodation was re-sparked because of this woman. Earlier this month, Naima was asked to leave a Cégep French class for refusing to remove her niqab. Now the government says it's making things clear.
We're basically saying, here in Quebec, we receive and we give services with our face uncovered.
That means faces uncovered in all government institutions, in schools and daycares. According to Bill 94, no face coverings will be tolerated if communication or identification is hindered.
Having to make a special law for 20 or so people is very disturbing, and more specifically, it fingers a specific community.
Very few Muslim women who live in Quebec wear full face coverings. Montreal's Muslim community says this goes too far.
This is a very serious precedent that sets us on a slippery slope of loss of minority rights and of loss of our freedoms in Quebec.
Others disagree, saying the spirit of the legislation is going in the right direction.
I think it tells schools that find themselves in this sort of situation, look, you don't have to accommodate the request of somebody to follow a class or to give a presentation with her face veiled.
And while the government says it's determined to have secular public institutions, discrete symbols such as crosses or kippas are just fine.
Discrete religious symbols are perfectly compatible with an individual doing his or her work neutrally and diligently.
Well, this is very much of a political reaction to growing social pressure for the government to do something. Also, obviously, it's a question of, the government has to act because the majority says so.
Reasonable accommodation has been a touchy subject here, the big question always centering around whose rights are being violated.
That's the challenge of interpreting human rights, is that you can have a framework, you can have a general guideline, but you still have to look at the facts of each case separately.
Something the government says it won't do right now, but it is aware of one thing.
This issue will be debated, I think, in modern societies for some time. It'll be around.
And you can weigh in on this debate at canadaam.ctv.ca. Today's Your Say question is, do you agree with Quebec's no service, no veil policy? And now over to Seamus.
When longtime screenwriter Heather Conkey got the chance to write a script for Harriet the Spy, she enlisted some expert help, her daughter, Alexandra Clark.
You want me to hang out with you?
Of course, silly. Being the class blogger has its perks, you know. Oh, I'm so
Both big fans of the book, Alexandra and Heather revamped The Old Favorite by taking Harriet to the 21st century as a blogger. And here with us now to talk about the movie and what it takes to work together as a mother and daughter team, which is the real question here. We got Heather and Alexandra. How you doing?
We're good. We're well, thank you.
What do you think when you see your work on a screen like you did just then? What goes through your mind?
It's a pretty surreal moment, I have to say. I mean, it's been such a dream come true from start to finish, and seeing it up there on the big screen, it's a very surreal moment for me. But it's the first time it's ever happened in my career, and I mean, as a seasoned vet, I'm sure it's a little different for you, but for me, it's just I have to keep pinching myself.
No, it's different for me too, because it's both our names on the screen for the first time, and we went to a screening last night, an advance one, just for cast and crew, and it was amazing. Like, there's our names up there, and
It's got to be the best feeling together, though,
yeah,
right?
it's terrific.
It's great.
Yeah.
Did you have any hesitation about working together?
No, actually, we'd worked on a movie together before that is still in development, but we realized in doing it that it was fun. Like, we really bounced ideas off each other very well, And, you know, we didn't kill each other, and we, you know, there were no doors slamming, or it was good.
No, it was.
good.
It really was fun.
You were in a New York hotel room?
We were. We sort of decided